I'm making a Dragunity deck profile. I haven't played this deck very much, but what I have played with it, I found to be really fun to play with. And I don't know entirely what I'm doing, so for now it's a 45 card deck. And I still want to add hand traps, so I still need to figure out what can and can't be played. So if you have any ideas of how I can improve it, comment those below. I would like to help. When moving on to the deck profile, play one copy of Dragunity Brandistock. I just play this so that when I go for game with something like Dragunity Barca, then it lets any monster it's equipped to attack twice. Then I play two copies of Dragunity Kaus. Kaus can only be used to Synchro summon a Dragunity monster. However, if it's used to Synchro summon, it can be treated as level 4 instead of 2. And it has the same effect as Phalanx, where it can summon itself when it's equipped to a monster. Speaking of which, I then play 3 copies of Dragunity Phalanx. Phalanx is just a monster that, when it's equipped to a monster, it can summon itself from the spawn trap zone. Then I play 3 copies of Dragunity Remus. Remus is both a starter and extender, because Remus says you can discard it to add Dragon Ravine, and if you control a Dragunity monster, you can summon it back from the graveyard. However, if you do that, then it's banished for the rest of the turn. If you use any of its effects, then you can not special summon monsters from the extra deck except dragons, which is fine because other than 2, all of them are dragons. Then I play 3 copies of Dragunity Ducks. Ducks says when it's normal summoned, then you can target 1 level 3 or lower dragon in your grave and equip it to it. So you summon this, equip Phalanx by sending it off of Ravine, or you discard Phalanx, search Ducks, normal Ducks, equip Phalanx, Phalanx summons itself, and then make plays from there. Then I play 1 copy of Zephyros the Elite to recur the Dragon Ravine, since it's a soft once per turn. So it's like a once per copy instead of you can only use each effect once per turn. But Zephyros just deals you 400 damage to return 1 targeted card on your field back to your hand. Then I play 3 copies of Dragunity Senatus. Senatus has been useful just because you can discard a Dragunity card, equip 1 Dragon Dragunity tuner from your deck to it as a spell trap. Or when you do this, you cannot summon for extra check for us to turn except dragon monsters. But that doesn't really matter, just because most of what you'll summon with this deck is a dragon. So then I play 3 copies of Dragunity Legitus. Legitus is an extender that's also walking MST, because if you control a Dragon Ravine or a Dragunity monster, you can special summon from your hand. And if you have a Dragunity monster in the spell and trap zone, you can target 1 spell trap on the field and destroy it. Then I play 2 copies of Dragunity Arma Mislatane. Arma Mislatane has the effect you can special summon from your hand by sending a face-up Dragunity monster you control to the graveyard. And if it's normal or special summoned from your hand, then you can target 1 Dragunity type monster, or 1 dragon type Dragunity in your graveyard and equip it to it. So you can equip it with a Phalanx and make a level 8 Synchro. Then I play 1 copy of Dragunity Arma Leviathan. Typically what I'll do with Leviathan is I will equip a monster I don't need with Dragunity Lance. Lance will equip it with Phalanx. Phalanx will summon itself. And I can tune Phalanx with Leviathan to then make a level 10 Synchro. Either Escalon or the other one. But it also has the effect of, when it's summoned, I can target a dragon in my graveyard. Where's the Dragunity? I don't remember. Okay, you can equip it with a dragon from your graveyard, and if it's destroyed by an opponent's card, whether it's battle or card effect, you can then special summon any monster that was equipped to it when it was destroyed. So it's good for dying in battle, more or less. But that's why you can summon it from your hand or graveyard by attributing a Dragunity that's equipped with a Dragunity card. And then my favorite Arma monster in the deck is 2 copies of Dragunity Armagram. Armagram has the effect of you can summon it from your hand or graveyard just by banishing 2 dragon and or winged beasts from your grave. And then it also has the effect of it can target 1 monster opponent controls, negates effects, and then decreases attack by 1,000 for every Dragunity card in your spawn trap zone. And then the best part of it is if a monster is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can Armor Gram can equip it to itself. It doesn't have to be Armor Gram that destroys in battle, just a monster has to destroy an opponent's monster in battle. Which I've actually done dirty things with this card, and it was really funny. I'll get to that when I get to the other card that lets me do it. Anyway, that's it for the Dragunity card, or monsters in the main deck. Moving on to the supporting engine, I play 1 copy of Glass Spell, or Ice Spell, Wind Witch Snowbell, 3 copies of Wind Witch Ice Spell, and 1 copy of Wind Witch Glass Spell. This engine starts by seeing in an Ice Spell, where if you control no monsters, you can summon Ice Spell, and then you go chain 1 Ice Spell to search, chain 2 Ice Spell to burn for 500, so that they can't ash it. But when it's summoned, it deals 500 damage. You can summon it for free if you control no monsters. And when it's summoned, you can special summon a Wind Witch from your deck. But however, if you use any of those effects, then you're locked into level 5 or higher wind monsters from the extra deck. So you can't link summon, you can't fusion, XYZ, only Synchros summon level 5 or higher. And then Glass Spell is the effective if it's normal or special summoned. You can add a Wind Witch from your deck to your hand. And once again, you get locked into wind monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn. And then Snowbell has the effect if you control 2 or more wind monsters and no non-wind monsters, you can summon from your hand. And when it's used for a Synchro summon of a Synchro monster, that Synchro monster can't be destroyed until the end of the turn. Or it can't not be destroyed by card. I can't talk. That Synchro summon monster cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effects. So if you see this, Crystal Link Synchro Dragon will be your 5th summon, but it's a monster negate, so it takes care of Nibiru. And then to end off the support engines, I also play 1 Dark Magician, 1 Red Ice Black Dragon. Those guys thought, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I played Dragoon in Dragunity? Yeah, I didn't think it was that funny either. Anyway, moving on to the spell and traps, I play 1 copy of Monster Reborn, so I can bring back monsters. 1 copy of Foolish Burial, so I can send Zephyros to the grave. 1 copy of Red Ice Fusion for Dragoon. 1 copy of Dragunity Whirlwind for defensive plays on my opponent's turn. Because Whirlwind lets you summon a Dragon Tuner and a non-tuner Winged Beast Dragunity monster from your deck, but their effects are negated. And then if your opponent has a extra deck monster, you can immediately Synchro summon. However, for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except Dragon monsters, which is fine, because I'm only ever using this as a defensive card. Either a defensive card or a starter, I should say. And then moving on to the other spells, I play 2 copies of Divine Lance. Divine Lance just says you can only equip it to a Dragunity, and then that equipped Dragunity monster gains 1 attack times its level. And then that's not affected by a trap card, so your opponent can't impermanence or storming the equipped monster. But the most important part is you can equip it with a Dragunity Dragon, or Dragunity monster from your deck. My bad. Dragunity Tuner. I've only ever used it to equip Phalanx, so I didn't remember if it was Tuner, Dragon, or it just had to be a Dragunity. But let's do that once per turn. You can only use each affected Divine Lance once per turn. Then I play 2 copies of Dragunity Glow. You can only use each effective Glow once per turn, but you can add 1 level 5 or higher Dragunity monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. And you can banish it to then special summon a monster that's in your spell and trap zone. So what I've done with this that was actually really funny is I have destroyed an opponent's Dragoon while I had Dragunity Armor Gram in play. So I had Armor Gram equip itself with the Dragoon, and then I banished Glow to summon the Dragoon back to my field in defense mode. And Glow does not negate the effects at all, so Dragoon is still omni-negate by banishing or discarding a card. And Dragoon, fun fact, Dragoon's not once per turn effect, or a hard once per turn. So then I proceeded to make my own Dragoon after taking my opponent's Dragoon. So I had 2 Dragoons and a Crystal Wing, and it felt really funny, as well as having a Savage Dragon. So I had 3 generic negates and a monster negate. And to finish off the spells, I play 3 copies of Cards of Consonance, just discard Dragon Tuner with 1,000 or less attack, and then draw 2 cards. And the most important card in the deck is 3 copies of Dragon Ravine. With Dragon Ravine, you can discard 1 card and then activate one of its 2 effects. And each effect of Dragon Ravine is a once per card. So if I activate a Ravine, activates effect to search for something like Dragunity Ducks, I can then return it to my hand to by paying 400 life points to someone's Zephyros. Activate it again, I can use this effect again to then send Phalanx to the grave. So Ravine and Foolish Burial is also starter. That's it for the spells. Moving on to the extra deck. And the main deck is 45, so I don't know what cards to take out to make it 40. But starting off with the monsters, I play 1 copy of Plant Rarite Anaconda, just summon Dragoon. Then I play 2 copies of Dragunity Knight Romulus. Romulus can only be summoned using a dragon and or winged beast monsters, except tokens. If it's link summon, you can add 1 Dragunity spell or trap from your deck to your hand, so it can search Whirlwind if I need it. It can search Glow, Divine Lance, or Dragon Ravine. And then it also says if a dragon monster is special summon to a zone it points to, special summon from the extra deck to a zone it points to, you can special summon 1 dragon and or winged beast monster from your hand in defense position. But first turn its effects are negated and it cannot be used as link material. But that's fine because it's just an extender by letting you summon more materials. And then I play 1 copy of Dragoon, just because I figured why not play it in Dragunity. Moving on to the Synchros, I play 3 copies of Dragunity Knight Vajrayana. Vajrayana has the effect when Synchros summoning to our level 3 or lower dragon in your graveyard. Level 3 or lower dragon Dragoon in your grave and equip it to it. And then it also has a once per turn effect. You can send an equipped card. So 1 equipped card equipped to it to the graveyard to double its attack until the end of the turn. So if for some reason you don't have any higher Synchro in your extra deck, you can equip it with something like Phalanx. Send Phalanx to the grave. Its attack comes 38 until the end of the turn. But that hard effect ever comes up because normally you equip it with Phalanx, summon Phalanx, and then summon a Crystal Ling. Then I play 1 copy of Dragunity Guy Durg. Dragunity Guy Durg has the effect of once per turn you add a level 4 lower dragon or winged beast monster from your deck to your hand, and then discard a dragon or winged beast. So it is a walking reinforcement army for Dragunity. They also let you get Phalanx to the grave. Then I play 1 copy of Windwitch Winterbell, just for its burn. If you don't want to play Winterbell, then I suggest playing Wind Texas at Ignister if you're still playing the Windwitch engine. Then I play 1 copy of Dragunity Knight Dragunity Knight Barca. I'm used to most of them having Guy in their names. Barca has the effect when it's Synchros summoned. You can take any number of dragon-type Dragunity monsters in your graveyard and equip it to it. And then gain 3 attack for each Dragunity card equipped to it. Typically what I'll do with this is I'll summon it, equip it with, like, at most 3 dragons, which will increase attack by 900. Then I'll equip it with Divine Lance, which will increase its attack by another 1100, so it's already at 4000. Then I'll have Divine Lance equip it with Dragunity Brandistock, putting its attack at 43, and it gets 2 attacks this turn. So I like Barca as kind of an ender for that extent. Then I play 2 copies of Crystal Link Synchro Dragon. I figured why not play 2 of them since I am able to with Wind Witches and Vajrayana, typically letting you go into a Crystal Wing very easily. Then I also play the 1 Savage Dragon just to get the generic negates by having either Anaconda or Romulus in the grave. Then to finish off the Synchros, I play 1 copy of Dragunity Knight Ardhair. I'm pretty sure I butchered that name, but in the other one I play is 1 copy of Dragunity Knight Ascalon. Ascalon has the effect of you can banish a Dragunity monster from your graveyard, so then target an opponent's monster and banish it. And then if Ascalon is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can then special summon 1 Dragunity Knight Synchro monster from your extra deck. Treat it as with 3,000 or less attack from your extra deck, and then the summoning is treated as a Synchro summon. So if Ascalon dies, you can just equip it or Synchro Barca and then make a really big dragon. And then Arbiter has the effect of when an opponent activates a monster effect, you can banish a Dragunity monster from your grave and negate the activation. If you do banish it, if it destroys the opponent's monster at battle after damage calculation, you can banish that opponent's monster. And if the Synchro summon card's owner's possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, whether it's battle or card effect, you can destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. You can only use each effects once per turn. So when this one dies, you summon a 3,000 or weaker Dragunity from your extra deck to a Synchro summon. And when this one dies, it's Harpy's Feather Duster. While also being a monster negate that banishes and a thing that banishes when it tries in battle. But that's it for my Dragunity deck profile. If you have any ideas what I can do to improve the deck, any deck profiles you'd like to see me make, or even just decks you'd like to see face each other, feel free to comment those below. Thanks for watching.